and we need to band together to fix this, and our action plan is the best way to do so. Moving on to the actor, my opponents claim that the UN is not the best body through which to achieve our goal. They say that the UN doesn't have the attendance of the entire world, but we're not necessarily trying to get the entire world to go along with this yet. We're merely focusing on the biggest industrialized nations, known as the G8 nations. And last time I checked, those nations are included in the UN. Moving on to Section 3, the action. They say that this is going to cost a lot of money and no reasonable nation would go along with this. But the nations are going to get their money back. If we devote ourselves to actually putting this through and we get it done, it's going to come out in the best. We're going to help save our environment and we're going to start making money off of this. No one said this was going to be easy. We're going to have to work hard and band together to be able to do this. Moving on to Section 4, they say that there are no benefits to our plan because it would ruin our economy. The economy is important, but the world is also important too. I mean, it's where we live. It's where the entire world lives. It's these people that say that global warming isn't real and say that we're not the problem. It's just a natural cycle. These people are the problem. We need to band together to be part of the solution. They say that the economy is really the most important thing in our lives. Well, look at it this way. If there isn't a world, where's the economy? Thank you.
My question is pretty simple to you. Why is this significant monetary investment that the negative is railing against, why is it so vital that we do it in schools?
It is important that we do this because by even making that, while it might be a big investment, it's important to do this because this is what ultimately will save our environment. And even while it might be a big sum to spend at the beginning, it's going to pay itself off in a relatively short amount of time. And it's important that we do this to be able to save our Earth's environment.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker, representing the negative team, Junior Adine Valdiva.
Okay, I'll pretty much go over the way it was presented. Starting with Section 1, the problem. The idea or theory of global warming has been around forever. But that's just what it is. It's an idea, it's a theory. There's no solid evidence of it actually existing, due to the fact that we have climate shifts every 20 to 30 years, which makes it a natural process. Moving on to Section 2, a few years ago, the Kyoto Protocol was introduced. However, the UN failed to get all the countries to agree to it, and that's including the US. If the UN couldn't even manage to get all these countries to sign the Kyoto Protocol, what makes us think that every country will follow this plan? There is no security that this agent of action will be able to efficiently enforce this plan. Moving on to Section 3, action. All this diverse technology is expensive, and there's no guarantee that we can cover all the expenses, especially when you include the fact that major countries such as the UK and Bangladesh, along with the US, are all experiencing a financial crisis and have had to use extreme measures and implement bailout packages as an attempt to save their economies. Section 4 and 5. Considering the plan won't work because it has an impossible goal and no funding, these so-called benefits and advantages the affirmative is claiming are simply imaginary, non-existent ideas. They can never be and never will be a reality.
Thank you, ma'am. I have one simple follow-up question for you.
With this $700 billion bailout package and 45 other countries currently proposing bailout packages, where are we going to get this money to fund this?
That's it. We have no money. How are we going to get money if all the countries are having a financial crisis and they're having to use bailout packages, which is pretty much just a, cross your fingers and hold your breath and hope for the best.
Thank you, ma'am. These These last two speeches will be a 1-minute summation of why we should or should not adopt Princeton High School's plan. For the affirmative team, Derek Bowling.
Okay, just going to start out, the argument over the economy is not going strong right now. Right now, I believe that the $700 bailout package is a loan. Therefore, we're getting all that money back and more. So obviously, our economy isn't going to crashing. Plus, just yesterday, the Dow had its biggest gain in the history of existence. If it's having such a big gain, then why is our economy crashing? If we can continue to gain like this, then obviously our economy is going strong. The U.S. has not been in a recession for 8 years at least, and therefore we can see that our economy is not failing on us, and our plan has perfectly enough money to continue around the world. Also, the UN has enough support around the world to go off of our plan. The Kyoto Protocol required for them to reduce carbon emissions, saving them no money, actually losing them money. Our plan gives them money in the long run because in a year it plays itself off, and then they continue to gain from that. If our plan, obviously people are going to take free money, and that's why our plan should be passed. Countries are going to accept this. Therefore, by saving the economy through our plan, because the environment can benefit from alternate energy, it is the best plan to pass.
Thank you, sir.
Our final speech today will be done by Mr. Casey Blackburn.
This plan that we are discussing is trying to solve for a problem that we don't even know is currently a problem. We've talked about countlessly that global warming is technically a problem, but we still have no definite proof that it is based on human actions. We may be a factor in it, but it is probably solely a situation that has gone through just a series of countless global cooling, global warming. So it is too much to just place this blame on the human race that we are actually at. So we're trying to solve for something that is not currently a big problem. And the highly industrialized nations are the main problem for this supposedly, but they're going to be the ones who are not going to want to take part in this plan because it affects their economies and they are not truly to live up to their economic goals of which they want. And economically, the countries cannot even execute this plan because we are taking 1% of their GDP, which these countries have plans for that anyways, and currently the majority of the countries in the world are suffering from a deficit such as the United States, so how are they going to work towards paying that off when they're working on paying for this plan as well? And once again, the Dow gain that was brought up by my opponent, it means nothing if you started with having the Dow, the level of the stock market being highly low, and then doing a gain. A gain doesn't mean anything if you had nothing really to start with. And so we can see this plan does not do anything highly in the execution of solving for climate change because we are not even sure that we are at fault for climate change. And this plan is not effective enough to actually sway countries to do this while affecting their economies. Thank you.
I would like to thank everyone for watching this debate and encourage each and every one of you to become involved in combating global climate change. For information on how you can make a difference, please see any member of the Princeton High School debate team or visit us at phsdebate.com or visit thepeoplespeak.org. Good night and good luck.